Connecting the dots, connecting his guests to the world, creating more connections. Welcome to The Connection with your host, Jaime Miralles, podcasting from the Parkville Studios.
Greetings, Connected Nation. This is Jaime Miralles, episode number 6, deep insight into the Keto series. And today in the Parkville Studios, I have Dr. Jaime Seeman, better known as Dr. Fit and Fabulous. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
This is awesome. Seriously, I know that I'm a crazy guy, so I just connect with people. And I saw your story, and I saw you showing up on social media, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to her. I have to. So I've been on the keto journey myself. But enough about me. Let's talk about something interesting about you that no one knows.
Okay, so when I was in elementary school, I was on a competitive jump rope team.
What?
So at the gym, I really love when there's jump rope stations because I just like to make a fool of people.
Oh my God, what, double dutch and everything, or just?
Well, I was kind of a bigger girl, and so I actually was in the double dutch flipping all these little tiny girls.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's hilarious. So I want to talk about you personally first, then we'll get into the professional. Let's talk about where you're from and where you grew up and how you came about to be a doctor.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Nebraska. I grew up right outside of Lincoln.
Oh my gosh.
And I was a collegiate softball player. I played for the Huskers from 03 to 07 and got my bachelor's degree in nutrition, exercise, and health science from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Yes.
And then my husband and I got married and moved to Omaha, where I went to medical school at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Then stayed for 4 years doing an obstetrician gynecology residency. And then I'm currently a private practice OBGYN at Mid-City OBGYN in Omaha, Nebraska. And now I'm in an integrative medicine fellowship through the University of Arizona. So I'm in my 27th year of school.
Oh my gosh, seriously. I did 2 years of school and I got my 8th grade degree. So no, that's awesome. I appreciate your credentials because I've always wanted to talk to somebody, one with a personality, two with your technical expertise. But you're such in this keto journey. Can you talk about how that kind of started? You just referenced you were a bigger kid.
Yeah.
You're not a bigger kid now.
Right.
I mean, seriously, literally, you're in shape.
Well, I've struggled with my weight my whole life.
Okay.
Grew up in a family where I watched my mom struggle with weight, yo-yo dieting, up and down. I mean, we're talking up and down 100 pounds.
Yep.
In my family, there's a lot of diabetes, and I have a nutrition degree and a medical degree, but I am just as human as my patients, and I've struggled my entire life with fad diets and up and down dieting, and it wasn't until I had my 3rd daughter. I've been through 3 pregnancies.
Wait, you have 3 children?
I have 3 children.
Okay, I'm just being professional. You look incredible.
Thank you.
How old are they?
So my girls are 3, 5, and 7. I have 3 daughters.
Wow. So you're busy. So
Yeah.
the other day when you said, hey, I'm trying to put as much as I can on my plate, but it's busting at the seams, I get it now. Married, doctor, 3 children.
Yes.
How does that work? I mean, I know that you're an OB.
Right.
You have to be on call. Are you on call right now?
No, I was on call yesterday.
Okay, good. That's probably why it didn't work yesterday
Yeah.
for our show. But talk about the word busy real quick. So I want to get the personal side of you. How do you do this word balance? Is there such a thing?
There is absolutely something called balance. And what's been the most interesting part of my transformation over these last couple years is actually finding that balance, but making sure that the top person in that whole balance equation is me.
Yes.
Because I can't be there for my 3 kids. I can't be there for my husband. I cannot be there for my patients and my coworkers if I don't take care of myself first. So these last couple years has really been putting myself before everyone else so that I can be there for them too.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, so obviously you struggled with prioritizing yourself. And people would say, well, gosh, it's not all about you. It's all about your kids and your husband and your profession. And there's someone listening right now who can identify with you, who's really guilty. What would you say to her or him right now?
So I can assure you that I'm a better mom because I take care of myself. Mm-hmm. I was tired. I was fatigued. I was irritable with my children. I'm a much better mom now than I was 2 years ago. And the same thing in my marriage. It's opened up a connection and a communication with my husband that wasn't there. I feel like I have the energy at work. I mean, I work crazy hours to be able to work all night and then work all day. I mean, I couldn't do that if I didn't physically take care of myself. And the other thing that's so important to me is I feel like in medicine, we don't have enough people that show people how to do it.
Oh gosh, tell me about it.
I just can't sit there in the clinic and tell people, eat this way, work out this way, do this for your health, if I'm sitting over there with diabetes and 50 pounds overweight. And I'm not saying that doctors are hypocrites. I mean, I think everybody, on a certain level probably is, but I just feel like you got to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Absolutely. Well, look, if you go to a mechanic and the mechanic's car is broken down and he or she doesn't take care of it, why would you let them work on your car? I had an episode a couple years back, maybe 3 years back now, where I collapsed and I had respiratory arrest, is what they said.
Wow.
And the cardiologist literally was 320 pounds. And when he came in the room, he was mouth breathing so hard. And he's telling me, you need to take care of yourself. You're not going to live long. And I'm just sitting there like, okay. And I didn't listen. I was like, well, at least I'm not like that. And I didn't put him down or anything. I just thought to myself, well, I'm not that bad. And I continued to not take care of myself. I did for a week, and then I went back to old habits. So let's talk about health in general and the word diet and the word lifestyle and all these people telling us, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. Then we'll get into the keto lifestyle. To you, when someone says the word diet, what does that set off in your head, or how do you react to that?
Well, I think people use diet in a bad connotation because they think that it is a fad diet or it's something that's temporary, when diet is really just the food that we eat. It's our source of nutrition. And that's really as simple as diet is. I think it comes with bad connotations that it doesn't deserve. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think and the other part is, it's funny because when people are on diets or fad diets, they make it so obvious, like, oh, I'm going to diet. I can't have orange peels and applesauce right now. Like, and it's so oversteering. Those are the people who make me feel like, wow, maybe I can't do that either. I'm on a diet right now. I'm drinking water and, apple juice or whatever it may be. First of all, too much sugar. But it's such a bad word in society. So when someone comes to you and says, listen, I want to improve my health from diet, what do you tell them? What are some of your philosophies?
Well, first and foremost, when a patient comes to me with a problem, the number one treatment is almost always their diet. It's what they're putting inside their body, because that's literally what's fueling our cells on a cellular level. So when we look at diet, though, I think the important connection that I want to make here when we're talking about the word diet is the diet is not controlling you, you're controlling the diet. And that's the biggest mental shift that people have to make, is people have to know. And I'm telling you right now, I used to live that way. Yeah. I used to live always thinking about when my next meal was coming, what I was going to eat. I mean, It literally consumed me on a daily basis. And what these people need to understand is you have to learn how to control those feelings and emotions that surround food, because food is very social for us.
Yes.
In the American culture, I get it. There's like a Starbucks on the corner and there's food in the break room. And it's just this constant stimulus.
Yeah.
And so you have to learn how to have more control mentally over your diet.
Right. And people are uninformed. People who don't go to school about nutrition get their input from social media, from their friend, from some wacko, some cubicle mate that says, you know what you should do? You should starve yourself for 12 hours in a row and do this and that. And people are so misinformed. And when you're talking about food and culture, I'm from the Filipino culture, okay? I will tell you, food is a mainstay. Jaime, if you came to our house, not my house now, but my mom's house, and you didn't eat food, you were offensive. It's like, what's wrong with her? How come she doesn't want to eat this food? And it stays out all day. I think the pressures are still the same when it comes to entertaining. Let's go out with our friends. Let's have a drink, one more. And I think as Americans, I look around, or just as people, and I look at people and I see inflammation all day. Am I crazy? Like, now I see it. I never saw it before.
Yeah, no. Inflammation is the word we're going to start hearing a lot about in the next, 5-10 years, because it's actually the inflammation caused by a lot of these diseases that drives the entire process. And it's funny that you say that. My husband we've been ketogenic over 2 years.
Yes.
And my husband says the same thing. I never noticed it. When I walk through the grocery store, I look at people and I see it. I see the acne. I see the fatigue.
Yes.
I see that you see the inflammation. I mean, you can't see inflammation, right? But you can see it.
Oh my gosh. And 53. I've sent you pictures before. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah,
but,
I saw one of them.
Oh my gosh. I was 56 pounds heavier than I am now about a year ago. And people who haven't seen me in a while, they're like, "Are you sick? Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." Why? You lost so much weight. I didn't understand the relationship between food and inflammation. So I want to get into the keto diet right now, or the keto lifestyle, okay? Because I don't even call it diet. When I first started, I yo-yoed too. I was stumbling. I was like, well, I can have one peanut butter and jelly sandwich at 11. No one's going to see it. And I was not doing it correctly. So if somebody starts a keto lifestyle, what's your advice to them to start?
So when people start, the easiest way to think about it is no sugar and no flour.
Right.
So it's, even if we brought somebody in here to debate the ketogenic lifestyle.
Yes.
We're not debating over Oreos and chips, right?
Right.
We both agree that those things are not
Absolutely.
healthy. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So even if a patient wants to have bananas and sweet potatoes, that's fine. That's
Sure.
not what is causing the problem.
No,
right?
it's
so
not
the
gonna make you
easiest
fat
way to
overnight.
think about it is just eliminating sugar, especially processed carbohydrates, wheat, breads, pastas, cookies, crackers, muffins. Those are the things I just start rattling off to people.
Yes.
Do that for a week and just see the difference, right? That's
Yeah.
the best way to get started. And the best way to get started is just get started. Start doing it right now. I mean, it's such a problem for people to say, I'm going to start on Monday. We all do it, right? And
yes.
it's a form of stress relief. That's what it is, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm going to start on Monday. They get this immediate dopamine release.
Yes.
And they say, okay, I feel better because now I can wait till Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And all they're doing is procrastinating results. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Immediately go into your pantry and start getting rid of stuff.
Ooh, that was the hardest for me.
Yeah,
I
because
promise you.
your home should be your safe zone. We have enough temptation on the street corners.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A down the street, in
Yes.
the break room right across the
Chick-fil-A.
hallway. I mean, it's a constant stimulus. So make your home be your safe zone and just get rid of that stuff immediately.
And what's crazy is once you start into any diet or any kind of regimen on TV or social media, you see all this food popping up at you and you're like, where did this come from? It's always been there. Mm-hmm. It'll always be there. So when you
see
say
what you focus on.
yes, absolutely. The reticular activator, right? Is that what?
Yeah.
So I see people struggle because they try to do it by themselves. And I know you coached quite a few people, and one of the people you coached, she's going to be here later on today to record a session, but Michelle credits you with literally saving her life. Mm-hmm. I've known her for a long time, and I've seen that girl suffer. I've seen a transformation, and I've seen her enjoy vacation with her family, and her husband's on it too, right?
Yes.
I hate the word on it. You know, oh, they're on the keto
Like you're
lifestyle.
on and off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just think it is a lifestyle because my mind finally, after a year or so, is programmed to know what's best for me. Talk to me about your journey when you started. Did you have any hardships? And I see some of your posts going, yeah, you know what? I had ice cream and I had this. So what? I'm going to get back on. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So the point I want to go back to, like when you bring up Michelle's story, and it's not unique to Michelle. This is the cool part about what I do is I get to hear these stories every day.
Yes.
I just put a little thing up on my Instagram this morning. Somebody messaged me this morning. They've never been under 200 pounds. They got on the scale, 195. Their doctor said they're going to take them off some medications. I mean, this is what's my driving force.
Yes.
Is to hear these stories because. Yes. Like in Michelle's instance, I tell people, if you are not happy at 250 pounds, you will not be happy at 150. I don't care what the scale says.
Oh, okay.
The change is that Michelle was able to go on vacation and go up and down stairs. Patients that text me and say, Doc, I just got on an airplane this weekend and I clicked the seatbelt.
Oh my
I didn't need an
gosh.
extender. I went to Disneyland. I got on the roller coaster. I did this. I've never been able to do that. They're literally getting their life back. They're able to experience and they're able to live their life with their family and their friends and their loved ones. And that's what people really need is they need that reminder about why. Why are you doing this? Why? It's that why that will keep you going.
Absolutely.
Because there are going to be days. There's going to be days where your family judges you. You go to your mom's house. She's mad you're not eating the Filipino food.
Exactly.
You go to the break room and the pharmacy rep's looking at you like, you're going to eat this donut because I just brought you this 12-pack of donuts, right? And it's that shift. It's that shift of, no, that doesn't serve me. It's
Right.
the ability to say no to things that don't serve your purpose.
Yeah.
And there has been trip ups, it's hard. You go on vacation. And so the cool thing is, over the last couple of years, I have been able to say, I'm in control of this.
Right.
And if I want to have a bowl of ice cream or a cheeseburger or whatever it is, I'm going to have it. I'm going to enjoy it. And then I'm going to move on.
Oh my gosh, that cheeseburger sounds so good right now. No, I'm serious. Like, if Dr. Jaime can do it, so can I. No, but I get it. Here's the other part. You're very into your working out as well. Can we talk about how that goes hand in hand with the keto lifestyle?
Yeah. So with that being said, I have clients that can lose a significant amount of weight just changing their diet. Diet is always number one.
Amen.
You cannot outrun a bad diet. That's what I tell people.
That's true.
I don't care how many hours you spend in the gym. If you spend an hour in the gym and then go home and eat pizza and ice cream, let's be real. We know what's going to happen.
People rationalize, right? They go to the gym and then they're like, well, I burnt 600 calories. I'm going to have 800. They don't know.
And it does make you more hungry. When we look at it on a physiologic level, the more you work out, it drives up your hunger hormones because your body says, oh, you just worked really hard. We need to replenish our fuel source. Now, diet is number one, though, and you can lose weight without stepping in the gym. But I do strongly believe there are benefits of exercise, and the biggest one is, as we age, the best way to increase our longevity is with resistance training.
Okay.
Not cardio. Cardio is great, but high-intensity interval training and weight resistance training are what is going to change your body composition the most. And what's important is, as we age, after we hit about age 30, we start to lose our lean body mass. So you have to tell your muscles, you have to tell your bicep, you need your biceps. So
That's
you need
true.
to actually put a little bit of stress on it to be able to maintain that muscle. I'm not saying everybody needs to be a bodybuilder and, have,
some muscles,
giant muscles.
But it's so true, because I've, got to myself to 53 pounds. I don't want to admit this, but I'm almost sedentary. I'm just going to be candid with you. Sedentary, is that a word? Is that the right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a mover. I will go to the gym for 1 or 2 days in a row, and then I'll stop. And I feel like I'm climbing Everest alone. But when I see people like you, and I'm like, man, wait, doctor, OB, on call, 3 kids, she can still do it. You have to make the time for yourself, obviously.
Right. And for me, that's 5 a.m. every single day.
My goodness.
And because if it doesn't happen at 5 a.m., by the end of the day, I'll have a whole bunch of reasons. Either something will pop up, a patient will be in labor, my kid will have swimming lessons. It won't happen. There's too many excuses to come up with at the end of the day. So for me, I prioritize my schedule like that. My alarm clock, I wake up at 4:30. I'm in the gym by 5 a.m.
Wow.
Every day, 6 days a week. I do take a rest
So
day.
you have a ritual. I mean, that is your ritual. That is I'm getting up and I'm attacking the world. Some people just roll out of bed and that whatever comes their way, 9 a.m., they hit the office and they have their coffee and their donut. And look at me condemning people for having their donut, whatever. But life just happens to them. Your mindset, to me, I'm interpreting this as you have to attack it, or else it will attack you in the end. Am I right?
Right. You need a plan. You need a plan that you can stick to. And the thing is consistency. It's funny when you bring up the coffee and the donut, because really that's fine on occasion. But if that's your daily routine, that's what we're really trying to attack here. When we say lifestyle, we're saying, what are the things you do 80 to 90% of the time?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's really what's impacting your health. It's not the one vacation or the one Friday night or it's what you do consistently. And so sometimes I look people in the face and I say, what are you willing to do consistently?
Oh my gosh. Not many people, just the body wants to go at rest. We want to be lazy. Our reptilian brains say, whatever you can survive with, you better eat now because you may not eat in 3 hours. And I think that's how people live. I know one guy who has Mountain Dew every freaking morning. And I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, but a granola bar too. Right. Mountain Dew and a granola bar. I'm like, that's a really good combination. And sometimes I do get heated debates about keto, but not because I'm an expert, but I'm passionate about helping people as well. I have no technical knowledge. Remember when I was reaching out to you, I don't even know if I'm doing it right. Straight up, I am taking ruled.me or I'm looking at other keto Facebook websites. I haven't really researched, but I'm like, well, I urinated on a keto strip and I'm in keto. Oh, right. It's really dark today. Yay. I've never had a coach or a trainer say, Jay, here's where you're at. And here's the other part. I want to ask you about intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how that plays into the keto lifestyle?
So some people use intermittent fasting and some people don't. There's no right or wrong. I tell people pick the plan that's going to work for you because the only one that's going to work is the one you're going to do.
Right.
So if intermittent fasting freaks you out, don't start that way.
Right.
But what intermittent fasting does is there are some physiologic benefits. First of all, our bodies were never designed to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That was made up by American culture.
Yes.
Our bodies were designed to kill a buffalo when it ran by, and it might run by every 3 days.
Right.
I mean, it's not like, we.
Oh my gosh, that's
not
so
the
funny.
fridge and the pantry and all this stuff we have access to. But intermittent fasting, for what it does really, Jay, for a lot of people, is it creates compliance. When I look at somebody and I say, okay, you're only allowed to eat, Jay, from noon to 8 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
What that does is in those other hours, they're like, I can't eat. It's not like, what am I going to eat? They can't eat, so they don't have a choice, right?
Right.
And now they could overconsume their calories between noon and 8 p.m. It's totally possible.
Yes.
But it creates compliance for a lot of people to just have that structure of say, okay, the only meals I got to worry about today are lunch and dinner and one snack. And that works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so if it works for your schedule, do it. If it doesn't work, don't do it. But there definitely are some benefits to fasting.
So I want to tell you, my first fast was 36, and that was probably a year ago, maybe 8 months ago. I did it all on my own. I read a lot, and I made it. I was like, wow, that's cool. 2 months later, I think I went for 72, and I did it, right? And I've only really had 2 consecutive real fasts where I don't know if it was even real because I was drinking bone broth, right? Is that a fast or not really? Or tell me about that.
Right. So technically consuming any calorie is breaking a fast.
Oh,
But
see, I didn't know that.
But I think, how we really need to look at it is like, what's your goal of the fast?
Yes.
If your goal of doing an extended fast is to get some weight off, then intermittently it's probably fine. Also for immune cell, stem cell regeneration,
Yes.
repair of the body. But the one thing I caution people with is you can lose lean body mass by doing a lot of extended fasting.
Yes.
And so sometimes we do something called a protein sparing modified fast, where we actually are fasting but consuming small amounts of protein, like bone broth would have a little
Yes.
bit in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to try to help protect that lean body mass a little bit. And so definitely there are strategies that you can use to still see some of the benefits but still protect yourself a little bit.
That third day of my fast, entering the third day of that 72-hour stretch, my mind was clear. My body wasn't processing food. I felt focused. I felt like I was jamming that day. It was probably one of the best business, personal, and honestly, I felt super sexily skinny. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I feel so great. And then I remember breaking that fast, and I felt terrible because I didn't know how to break it. And so I got right back into bacon and eggs, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not good to do. But I'm learning these things, and sometimes I'll go 18, right? Because I'll have a bullet coffee in the morning, and then I'll forget to eat the rest of the day because I'm not hungry. Is that healthy?
So that's actually one of the biggest surprises that people have when starting a ketogenic lifestyle is their hunger and their cravings are gone.
Right.
And it's just mind-blowing for them.
Yeah.
And that's through the suppression of a hormone, our hunger hormone called ghrelin, that tells us when we're hungry. We actually suppress that on a ketogenic lifestyle. So that's why you're not hungry.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So as long as you're consuming adequate protein for the day, it's not a problem. But I do have some people that are like, Doc, my hunger's gone. I'm not hungry. But then we look and they're only consuming 500 calories a day. And they're going to start losing their muscle, at
Yes.
some point if they're not maintaining their maintenance
flexing
calories.
right now as
Yeah.
you're speaking. I'm like, am I losing
And so
gas?
it's not a problem as long as you're getting your adequate protein. And that's another thing I want to say is with the ketogenic lifestyle, a lot of people say low carb, high fat. It's not. It's simply the restriction of carbohydrates. Fat is actually used as a lever. Some of my clients need less fat, some of them need more. But
Really?
protein is the one macronutrient that you're not allowed to sacrifice.
That's so crazy. So let's talk about, I see that you've had workshops, with Michelle's at the Omaha Bakery. Have you done workshops anywhere else? Do you train clients on a normal outside of those sessions?
Yeah, so I have a clinical practice where I practice obstetrician and gynecology, but insurance companies don't like to pay for people to come in and talk about their diet. Really? So I have an online program. It's being revamped right now. I'm trying to do the best thing I can for my clients, but an online program where we set up your macronutrients and your calories and,
Yes.
and we have some accountability. So I do have online clients, and then I do workshops occasionally. We have done ones at the Omaha Bakery. I've had requests to come into employers. offices and places like that and give presentations, and I'm always more than welcome to do, or more than willing to do that. Yeah.
And I promise you, because people have come up to me and they're like, Jay, what have you done? And I'm giving bad information. I don't want to say bad, but I'm just saying, here's what I did. Here's what worked for me. Here's some of the resources. There have been a ton of people. I have this keto forum called No Keto, KNOW Keto on Facebook. It's just friends, and they're not allowed to, criticize each other. We're just sharing recipes and whatever, Every now and then somebody will get on there and say, well, I tried it and I'm not losing any weight. And I get it. There are people that try TRY this diet or this lifestyle. What are you saying? What are you going to say to that person with that? I'm trying, Jaime, but it's not working for me. What would you say to them?
So a lot of that is weight loss. A lot of people are like, I tried it and I didn't lose weight. But there's lots of different reasons why people do a ketogenic lifestyle. Maybe you have a strong family history of Alzheimer's disease and you don't want Alzheimer's, because that's called type 3 diabetes, by the way. Or, maybe you are trying to lose weight. There's lots of reasons. If your goal is weight loss, you can lose weight on any diet.
True.
By creating calorie restriction.
Oh, yeah.
So these people, the problem with the ketogenic lifestyle is that it can be very calorie dense, because fat is the most calorie dense macronutrient, 9 calories per gram, compared to carbs and protein, which have 4.
Okay.
So if they overconsumed on the standard American diet, they can still overconsume on a ketogenic lifestyle.
Yes.
They're just not creating a calorie restriction. So, that's fine. They're just not working hard enough.
That's true. And I again, for people who are like, it didn't work for me, you just have to look at the person, and you can almost, I don't want to judge, but say, okay, they're predisposed to this thought pattern. Nothing works for them. Their car doesn't work, their house isn't great, and whatever. It's just their mindset.
Chronic complainer.
Yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here she comes again. But
I call those people allergic to life. And I get them. I get them all the time.
All
the time.
As a doctor, you see so many stories and so many people. What fuels you about truly being a doctor? And 27 years is a lot of schooling, right? And you're a busy mom. But what fuels you about medicine? So
for me, it's kind of like being in medicine, you kind of almost understand your mortality a little bit.
Yes.
We deal with, I deal with birth and I deal with death.
Yes.
And I understand one day I'm going to be gone. And I actually lost my best friend about 3 years ago. And that was part of the reason that I kind of started on this journey, was just getting my life back, because I thought, gosh, it could end tomorrow. It's about not taking each day for granted. And for me, I think about it, okay, so one day when I do die, if somebody wrote a book about my life, am I going to inspire anyone? What's the point,
so
right?
cool.
If I can't leave this story and this inspiration and this legacy for my 3 daughters, what purpose is that? I'm not here to just pay bills and eat food and then die one day. That's just not the way I want to live my life.
So did you always think like this? Be honest. When did this click for you on this mission of just wanting to help people, whether it be a doctor or coaching through keto or whatever it may be? Mm-hmm. Where did that click for you?
I've always been a social person. I like people. Like people. Yeah. And, going into medicine, I kind of had my life planned out. I was going to go play college athletics and then go to med school. But, I was just sitting there, and I have these 3 kids and this amazing husband and this, this degree. But I just didn't feel like I was doing anything purposeful with it. Medicine these days is hard. It's not a great profession right now. It's really not. And I just needed something more. And this side of my practice, this integrative medicine and nutrition and exercise, I get far more energy doing this than anything else. It's literally giving people their life back. I love delivering babies. Don't get me wrong, but seriously, after a couple hundred, it's not as cool as the first one was. Gosh. I'm blessed that these people, I'm part of their child's life, but really literally giving people back their life is what keeps my life going.
And that's so huge. I think many people go through life just going through life, and they're just buying their time, if you would, or they're just on cruise control, right? And it's okay if they don't have a purpose. I'm not condemning people who are like, I'm going to wake up and save the world. I'm not looking for all those people, because there can't be that many people. But when someone like you comes along and strikes the public or people, you're already busy, right? You're already giving to your profession, to your family, to your husband, to yourself. now you're helping others beyond that, right? And I think that's noble. You have so many stories and people that are tied to you. Just in the last few days, I mentioned, I'm going to have Dr. Fit and Fabulous with me. They're like, we know her. And I'm like, yeah, I see we're connected on Facebook. But what do you say to somebody right now who's listening and they're like, I want happiness like that too. I want to be better for myself. I want to be better for my family. What's your advice for them right now to start?
We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And what you choose to do in those 24 hours is on you.
Yeah.
And so the only person that is stopping you from living your absolute best life is you. And so you immediately need to start getting rid of the negative things in your life. And sometimes that's in your own mind. Sometimes it's negative relationships. Maybe it's a new job.
Yeah.
But you slowly need to weed out these things because ultimately at the end of the day, it's all on you. It's all on you.
That's incredible. I mean, because everyone thinks it's a magic set of rules and it's a strict set of instructions, and for everyone it's different, and I think people judge themselves. I'm sure when you're at the gym, people are like, man, they probably bother you. Hey, can I get some advice for you? How do you do? And it's so overwhelming with the information, but you're saying keep it simple. It starts with you. It starts with your mindset. For me, it's changed the people I hang out with too, to be honest with you, and not on purpose, like, you're inflamed, I'm not going to hang out with you, right? No, I used to. Let's go out. Well, let's have one more. Let's do this. I still have fun, but not with the same people.
So studies show we literally become the people around us. And so like my best analogy for this is like if you want to own a yacht, go hang out at the yacht club with the yacht owners and do what they do.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Go hang out with the most fit friend you have that eats perfectly and just do what they do.
That's so crazy. Now that you're in my circle, hopefully I become more fit. No, not hopefully. No, you're inspirational. I can tell you that. Just your post, the thing I like about you, Dr. Jaime, is you are real. You talk about the struggle. You talk about the ins and outs, and it's not all glory and filtered, right? And so social media, when people see you on social media, everyone makes an inference of whatever they think. What do you want people to think when they see your Facebook posts or the information you're putting out there? What do you hope they...
Well, for me, I'm just trying to inspire people, and I'm just trying to give people energy, because I feel like social media can be a real drain for people sometimes, just like the constant negativity. And I'll tell you right now, that is one thing where people can clean up their lives, is go unfollow anything on your social media that doesn't serve your purpose.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
And so, I mean, I'm really just trying to light a fire for people and to give them the energy they need. They still have to do the work. I can't do it for them. But if I can even inspire, one person a day to make better decisions, it's totally worth it.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you for being on the show today. I, again, was seeking you out because I want to help someone who's listening right now or impact a few more lives. And if there's anything I can ever do to promote, I'll put all your links in the feed. Is there any last words that you have before we say goodbye to the Connected Nation here?
Well, thanks, Jay. And I want you to just continue to inspire other people, too, because I know you feel like you don't have the knowledge to do it, but you're a walking billboard for what a better life can be.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. This is so awesome. Like, I've never known you. I feel like we connected today, and I honestly want to follow it with you. I want to help promote what you're doing. I just want you to connect with so many people. You are such a wealth of knowledge. You are a walking billboard, but beyond that is you have so many credentials. You have so many great stories that you are making an inspirational impact, and I know that you're going to create a great story for your life.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
A Parkville Media Production.